Hi, it's Ashley. I'm the managing partner of the Dworsky law firm, and the purpose of this video is to tell you about some dramatic changes that may impact your immigration journey. This is important to me, and it should be important to you. I, like you, was an immigrant, and I came to this country 27 years ago. But the thing is, the reason for this video is to ensure that you are involved in the immigration process. Make sure that you're communicating often with your immigration attorney. It's very important. Gone are the days where you could just pay an attorney some money and glide along. Now, because of the changes that I'm going to discuss today, it is really important that you understand what your attorney is saying, what the strategy is saying, and what the strategy is. The most important thing is you have to investigate who your immigration attorney is so that you've got a true understanding of whether he or she can represent you to the best of his or her ability. At the Dworsky law firm, one of the keys for both myself and our entire team is to make sure that you're kept updated and you're advised of these recent breaking developments and how it impacts you and your family. The first thing that I want to discuss is recent changes for temporary protected status. You may know it as TPS. What has happened with temporary protected status is the US government has reached, in the past, has allowed people from various countries, including Afghanistan, Cameroon, South Sudan, Haiti, and most recently Ukraine, to come here on temporary protected status, which the main reason is simply because of the fact that there's problems in their country, and the US government over the years has been very compassionate. Things have now changed. So instead of referring to it as temporary protected status, I'm going to refer to it as TPS. Recently, the US government is now saying that Afghanistan has been cancelled. That ends on August the 14th, 2025. Cameroon's come to an end. South Sudan is ending on November the 3rd, 2025. Haiti is coming to an end, and possibly the Ukraine is coming to an end at some future point. I'm saying to you, you shouldn't be frightened. You should be concerned, but the most important thing is to have faith in your immigration attorney. Speak to him, speak to her. You're more than welcome to consult with myself and our team. But the thing is, we can provide you for options, but you should be aware that this is a recent trend by the present administration to make an impact on cancelling a number of TPS admissions to the United States. So if you are impacted by one of the countries, or you're presently in the United States on TPS, it is critical, in my opinion, for you to consult a seasoned or experienced immigration attorney. The critical need for this is because the present administration is passing executive orders so quickly. You need to do something, consult with the attorney so that we can provide options for you. Humanitarian parole is also under attack. Recently, on May the 30th, 2025, the Trump administration ended the CHNV, and that stands for Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela's humanitarian parole. The background to humanitarian parole is if you're an individual who was outside the United States and wanted to come in maybe for an emergency operation or other such facts like that, what they used to do was apply outside the United States for humanitarian parole. Unfortunately, the present administration is now shutting that down. So if you have to apply for humanitarian parole, the chances of it being granted in this day and age are unlikely. In fact, unfortunately, within the last week, a 4-year-old suffering from cancer, him and his parents in the United States were served with termination papers that they have to leave, that their humanitarian parole, which was granted to them, has now been removed. The next topic is one of concern, and we've been seeing this happen in Chicago over the last 2 weeks. What has happened is the Trump administration, or the present administration, has issued directives earlier this year insofar as ICE officers can detain individuals. But what has complicated the situation is that when you appear in court, in an asylum court, and this is an important point, you've been here for less than 2 years. What has happened in the last 2 weeks is the following. The prosecutor stands up in court and says, we are now withdrawing the case. The defense and the individual concerned is very happy because they are out of asylum court because there's no case. The problem is, as soon as they walk out of court, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, is waiting for them to arrest them and remove them from the country. So the thing is, the immigration attorneys are fighting back. We have prepared and are preparing every single individual that goes to court. We're giving them the update on this. We're keeping them advised, and we have developed not only a plan B, but a plan B and C and D to protect your interests and protect your rights so that you are not detained by ICE. The present administration put a pause on 3 types of visas. If you are outside the country and you're applying for an F, that's a student visa, a J for research or doctorates coming into the United States, or an M visa, which is more a technical visa if you're coming in to train on a culinary status. The problem is that the US consulate is now going to investigate and use what terminology is extreme vetting. What they're going to do is they're going to investigate your social media. Now, we've already got dramatic reports of that when people come into various international airports, including O'Hare, where the officers can go through your phone. Now, a lot of people think that you can merely delete the post. The problem is they now have the tools, and the US consulate certainly has the tools in your country to investigate what your social media is. So the thing is, I don't know when we are going to see this pause undone. But what we can do, and what we are already doing, is giving advice, having Zoom meetings, and with my team and I giving you alternative or creative ways to come into the United States and possibly use other options. What we are seeing over the last couple of weeks and over the last couple of months is that the US immigration is changing forms all the time. They are expanding the forms and then expanding the questions. For instance, in citizenship, green card renewals, and other forms which is in the link below, you will see an explanation of how they are expanding it. So for example, in citizenship, they are now asking questions which are saying, have you ever been cited, arrested, charged, detained, convicted of a misdemeanor, convicted of a felony, ever voted in US elections? The purpose of this is that if you lie, or worse, if you mislead the US immigration, they will come back to the citizenship form and issue something with a notice of intention to deny, a notice of intention to revoke. We are also seeing on green card marriages, whereby they are going back in history to see your social media, to see your previous marriage, if you were previously married. So they are looking through your immigration history. And that is why I'm saying to you, be involved, be proactive. This is a very fast moving process. And as quickly as I can make the video, the law is changing every day. So I'm encouraging you again, communicate with your attorney. You're more than welcome to communicate with myself and our team that are very highly qualified, and that's all we do. We only do immigration. We don't have any other field, and we would welcome an opportunity to speak to you about your options, your concerns, and your fears. Real ID. We've discussed this before on one of the videos, but now we've started seeing that if you do not have a real ID, you will face problems traveling domestically. What we are seeing in various airports around the country is when you arrive without a real ID, without that star in the top right-hand corner, the gold star or the black star, the US government will not allow you to board a flight. So what you have to do is have a valid passport. If your passport is expired or you do not have a real ID, what is going to happen to you is they are going to issue you with a red notice and guide you to secondary inspection. Now, I don't want you to panic about this, but I do want you to be on top of your game to understand that do not go to the airport. Do not take the chance without a real ID or with an expired passport. There's a real probability, and not only a possibility, that the US government and the present administration is going to stop OPT. What is OPT? OPT stands for Occupational Practical Training. And for years and years, a student who has graduated with a degree can get employed under the Occupational Practical Training. Now, this is rumored to be coming to an end. Again, with all these other topics, including this one, it's a very quick-moving, dynamic situation. There's potential issues around this. So the thing is, gone are the days where you can just cruise along during your completing your degree and then worry about getting a job after the degree. It is absolutely critical that you be proactive, consult a real immigration law firm with proper experience that can advise you as to your options. Not at the last minute, but you have to. And the purpose of this video is to ensure that you are constantly up to date. Communicate with the law firm that you're dealing with. You're welcome to contact us, contact my team about various options we can provide for you.